I love it. Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back. I am with my dear friend, the one and only Mr. Hawaiian Vibin', Walt Key. Walt Key and I have this series, which is Coffee and Conversations, and you can define coffee however you want. I define it quite differently, but we really are all here all about the conversations, talking about what's on our mind, what we have coming up, the industry as a whole, maybe some cool things. I'm frozen there. I'm back. Some cool things that we see in the news. We are here to answer those questions. And I forgot to tell you, after our last show, somebody did ask me about your Hawaiian shirts and the origin of that.
Oh.
So we'll talk about that. But before we do, welcome, Walt. How you doing today?
Oh, happy Monday. I'm doing great. It's a little rainy today. I came back from sunny Florida and it was cold, and now it's rainy. And I'm ready to get sunny Florida going again. But
yeah, hopefully toward the end of the week. I don't know what's happening here, but it is definitely rainy and foggy.
I've got to find a little. I got to carve out 45 minutes today to get outside at some point and work out, because that's part of the new challenges.
That's right. So we want to talk about the new challenge. I got all sorts of questions for you today. But before we go forward, tell them who you are and what you do, just in case it's their first time.
Oh, man. Well, as was already said, I am Mr. Hawaiian Vibin'. This is not a Florida thing. It's not a gimmick. This is just what I do. I've been wearing Hawaiian shirts for decades. I actually got married in a Hawaiian shirt more than 22 years ago now. So it's been a long running thing for me. I've lived in 25 countries, several states. Some of those states are very cold. Hawaiian shirts are always part of the wardrobe. So what do I do? Sit around and jump on live calls. Realtor, author, coach, mentor, area leader. I do a lot of fun. Anything in the real estate space, I like to do it. So I'm just here to help as many people as I can.
And that I know for a fact. All right. So answer the question first about Hawaiian shirts. How did that come into play?
Man, I really, honestly, I'm not entirely sure. A lot of people, when I moved to Florida for the last time, they're like, oh, well, you're in Florida now. And I'm like, no, it's not a Florida thing. I've been wearing Hawaiian shirts for decades. And then what I realized was, and I can't say that there's a direct correlation, but it's pretty darn close, because I've been a concealed carry holder, a firearms instructor, a cool guy in the Navy for decades. And so having a gun on my hip is a pretty common thing. And I've always told people that Hawaiian shirts are the perfect cover garment because of the bold prints and the colors and the patterns. Anything will disappear on your waistline in a Hawaiian shirt. So I honestly think I started wearing them decades ago because I was concealed carrying, and they just made life easy, and it became a part of me. They're so comfy, and they kind of represent my personality, right? They're fun, they're laid back, they're relaxed. It's just kind of my jam. So
it's your brands too. Yeah. People know you from that.
Yeah. So that's it. It's not anything super interesting.
No, that's fair. Yeah, because a lot of stuff, people ask me all the time, how did you start wearing jackets? Why are your shoes and jackets always a certain way, Ted? And in reality, I don't know the exact answer. I just know I always liked color. Was never a gray kind of person. If I wasn't wearing this, I'd be wearing something bold and print oriented, just because I don't like boring. For me, it's boring, those colors. So yeah, it's your brand. People get used to knowing you in that, and then it's kind of a comfortable thing, and you look good. You look good in a Hawaiian shirt.
So it was interesting. So at the convention I was at last week, we launched a brand new AI headshot app, in-house, proprietary. We built it ourselves, and ours is a little different, right? Most people like a headshot is a business, picture. Ours is a sliding scale, anywhere from business to casual to vacation mode. And so everyone was playing around with the new app because we just launched it. It's our tech, all that fun stuff. And the vacation mode of the AI is instinctively putting people in Hawaiian shirts. So all of my brokerage partners, all of the agents that are playing with the app are dropping pictures on social of them in Hawaiian print, either Hawaiian dresses, Hawaiian shirts for the men. And I'm like, where have you guys been all of the decades? Like, this is not new. It's been great.
I love that. The proprietary. So talk a little bit about, you just came back from your Epic convention.
Yeah, we're at the shareholder summit. So we did it up in Texas. This was the first official shareholder summit of Epic Realty because every agent is a shareholder. They get equity in the company through stock options and things like that. So great couple days up in Texas. We were at the Gaylord Resort up in Texas. Amazing place. I'd never been there before. Really, really awesome place. Talked about the company and where we're going and what we're doing and our international expansion and our luxury division that we're bringing out and our commercial vision that we're bringing out. Some tools and apps and new benefits, just a way to engage with the shareholders, which are the agents, and tell them what we never stop adding new things, which is great. Like everyone's like, well, your benefits are just insane. Like you can't keep adding more, and they're like, watch us. So I thought it was really cool to be at a brokerage that offers healthcare, right? And that's a benefit that a lot of people have a hard time wrapping their head around. Like we offer free healthcare to our agents. It's a pretty cool thing. We launched a 401k plan. There's not a single brokerage model on the planet that has ever even thought of, hey, we should give our agents a mechanism to make and save for retirement. Why don't we create some sort of 401k plan? So we brought an in-house financial advisor into the mix, built a 401k plan, and then Epic Realty, the brokerage, covers all of the costs to administer the program. Like any financial advisor, right? They got to make money too. It's not a bad thing. So as they're walking you through your financial plan and they're helping you invest in mutual funds and bonds and whatever you want to invest in, right? They get a little sliver of that, either a percentage based or commission based, depending on the financial advisor, because they got to pay the bills too. The difference is Epic Realty pays all of the fees. So the agents are literally getting a 401k plan built for them at zero cost.
Unbelievable.
Because why not? We can do it. Why hasn't anyone done it? So continue to be amazed by the things that we're doing. It's been fun. That was one of my favorites because I'm a financial nerd, right? That was one of my favorite benefits that we announced, literally a 401k plan for real estate agents.
It's so, what's great too is when you talk about it, you can tell the excitement is real and you're passionate about it because you see all of the things that are going on. But you also give a lot of knowledge away. Like you disseminate a lot of information and help people out, which brings me to events. I want to talk about our upcoming events, but I want to start with you because you do so much. Like I sign up for your events and people always ask me, why are you always at Walt's events? And I shared with you earlier that I get a nugget, at least one nugget, most of the time, multiple nuggets, every single time I listen to you talk, and you're really sharing knowledge. It doesn't matter who's on the call. You're just sharing this knowledge that I feel like if people would take little bits of it here or there, take the whole thing if you can. Yeah. But you could change the trajectory of your business by doing so. And I mean that wholeheartedly, not just because you're my friend. It's truly when you get on those classes, you just learn so much. So talk a little bit about what's coming up and then maybe share some of the things that you're going to talk about or some of the key points of what you're going over.
Yeah. So I have several events that I do a little more ad hoc throughout the year, but I have a core calendar of events that I do on a repetitive basis. I sat down late 2024 and I said, I want to get a little more structured with the way that we present the courses because there's always a need for them. So we have several that we round robin throughout the month. Just on any given month, we're doing 4 to 5, sometimes 6 different coaching events. So there's quality conversations, how to build relationships at business, how to create a perpetual cycle of business for sell by owners and landlords. I do a monthly open house mastermind coaching call with a company that specializes in open houses. Once a month, we launch a new round of our 100K in 100 days challenge. We do business planning for realtors, which is exactly what it sounds like. It is a foundational course that so many people miss. Goals, priorities, milestones, calendar management. How do I actually execute a plan? We put all that together. How to build strategic partnerships. That's one of the things I do to grow my business. And I think so many people miss it. And so I'm trying to teach as many people how to do it as possible. And we just kind of round robin through. Those are kind of the core. And then throughout the year, we might do something like a CPA comes on and talks about how to maximize your retirement planning for independent, contractors and self-employed professionals. We might have an estate attorney come on and do estate planning 101, where we talk about wills and power of attorneys and ladybird deeds and trusts, not only for the individual agent, because obviously that's valuable to any person, but that's information that you can then take back to your clients to help them more, and helps you build strategic partnerships, because now you can go speak estate planning to an estate planner and build a partnership that you can help each other. So they all kind of play in together in that regard. And then almost all of these strategies in some part or another are folded into our 100K challenge. That's a challenge that we built that really runs off 5 core strategies. And it's a 100-day challenge, obviously. So that we do a lot of fun stuff. It's
so much.
Well, I mean,
and I love it. I'm glad you do.
I got time. I mean, I got the same amount of time in my day that everyone else has.
Selfishly, I love it because I love it's a giving. You give back. I mean, you're just sharing all of this knowledge that you could very easily be greedy about. And I mean this. Like, a lot of people hold on to what they do, and you're just so generous with it. What's your why behind that share?
It's actually really simple. I tell people all the time, I try to operate under a very simple life philosophy. I cannot add more value into the world than what the world will give me back in return. Now, if you pause and you think about that for a moment, just assume for a moment that I'm correct. Maybe I'm half wrong. Assume for a moment that I'm correct. If we can't add more value into the world than what the world is going to naturally return to us, call it karma, fate, God, the universe, whatever you want, right? Why wouldn't we try to add more value into the world?
Agreed.
It's a simple concept. So my goal is really simple. I want to make the entire real estate industry better, one successful agent at a time. And I do that by giving away as much value as I possibly can. And the fun part about it is, it's not philosophy. It's not, hey, rah, dream. You've been in my calls, right? I don't ever talk about something that I can't then give you the tool to go execute what we talked about.
Correct.
Right? That's an important aspect of the way I coach. I'm not here to tell you how to rah, dream big dreams, go do things. And then you leave the call going like, I'm motivated and I don't know shit. Pardon my French. Right? So the execution piece is super important.
Yeah.
And I execute what I teach. So I make money in real estate because I do what I'm teaching other agents to do to help them make money. So I don't need to take it. The old adage is so funny. That old adage, those who can do, those who can't teach. And that's probably true for most people, but that's just not the way I do business. I don't teach somebody something if I don't know that it works. I know how to execute it myself so that I can make sure when they're done with my call, they have everything they need to go execute.
Yes.
And because I execute myself, I don't need their money. I can go make my own.
I wholeheartedly agree with you. To me, that's the number one. I mean, there's just so many things that I take away from your workshops, your sessions, but you are solution based. Everything you have a plan. That old adage is so true for the majority of the people out there, quote unquote, coaching or teaching or workshopping or lecturing. I have found that the majority of them spend so much time talking about something they've never done.
Yeah.
They've never measured. They've never actually implemented. But ChatGPT, or maybe they heard it from somebody else, tells them this is what you should talk about, and you can feel it. There's a disingenuous feeling over it, and so I've actually been at workshops where I'm a presenter, and nothing recent. So nobody who's done a workshop with me recently take this, but I have done it, and all I can think of, I can watch the audience. When that person speaks, it's a complete disconnect because you can sense that person has never done anything that they're talking about, not a one thing. And people don't respond to that. And so I think that's why I love your classes. I know all of those outlines and it's detailed. The stuff that you give isn't just this generic, fluffy thing. You give real details. Yeah. And I can't stress enough that I want people. That's why I always put anything that you do, I put on my link tree. Because I want people to benefit from it. I want people to be able to benefit from what you do because I believe in it. So what's the next one coming up?
So the next one is actually this Friday, February 28th. We'll be creating a perpetual cycle of business with for sale by owners and landlords. I think we have about 65 or so people registered for that right now. It's absolutely free. You go to the link tree, click on Eventbrite. It's free. Just show up. My caveat to you is, and this is the one frustration I have in this space of giving away things for no cost. If you register for my events, show up. Please, like, don't waste my time. Don't waste your time registering for something and don't show up. I don't care if you don't want the knowledge. That's fine. Don't register, right? It's your business to run or not. That's actually why we had to start. I say had to. We really did have to. The 100K challenge, we ran several iterations at no cost whatsoever. And that's a lot. I mean, there's a lot on the back end of that. It's a 100-day long challenge. It's a private group that we're running. There's lots of logistics involved. And we had hundreds and hundreds of agents signing up, and then they were never even showing up to the launch call to begin. And it was incredibly frustrating, the amount of time and energy that the team was wasting. And so we started charging a very little bit for that challenge, and an amazing thing happened. All of the tire kickers went away. And now that it's a better quality challenge because the people that have just a shred of investment are showing up and putting in the work to get their investment back. And it's made the entire challenge better. So
I agree.
If you're going to sign up, show up.
I feel like that's a challenge in general. I see it all the time. I mean, the rule is, and you've probably heard it as a realtor, most of us who put on events that are non-realtors, if we get half of you show up who registers, we're happy.
And so there's an old adage that those who pay attention.
Yes.
And I get that, right? I'm doing everything I possibly can to give the knowledge away for free. But there's this stigma in the sales world that if it's free, there must not be any value.
Correct. Yep.
And so I fight that battle all the time. And it's like the devil on one shoulder or the angel on the other, like, give it away for free because you can. Charge people for it so they quit wasting their time. And I'm like, I don't want to charge for it, but I do want them to quit wasting people's time.
We talked about that. It's such I've thought about implementing some sort of charge. I don't really, that would be absolutely completely against all things that any vendor in the real estate world ever did. And so it's just such a unique position. Like, I know that the stuff that I teach, I know the stuff that you teach has value. And it really boils down to the person on the other end, whether they value themselves enough to grow, whether they value their time enough to commit. And so it becomes this thing. Okay, am I forcing you here? So yeah, it's a struggle I go through.
Yeah, the straw that broke the camel's back for the challenge was the last one that we did for free. We had 207 agents registered. Less than 40% of them showed up to the launch call, and 2 weeks later, a fraction of them were doing the challenge. Yeah. And I just thought to myself, like, never mind that you wasted our time, right? Because there's logistics involved, there's reminders, there's emails, there's calendar invites, there's prep work, right? You wasted our time, but you wasted your own time.
I know.
Right. And so that's what really broke it. Now, all of the other coaching calls are still free, and I'm going to try to keep those free. Like, everything else we do is free except the challenge, because it's just such an enormous thing that we're doing with the challenge. But it is kind of frustrating when you have people not show up for themselves.
It's interesting. I'm very thankful when people at least message me and say I won't make it there.
Right.
But we're launching something new. It's tomorrow, called the Purpose Engine. And it's all built around purpose. So being intentional with what you do and figuring out what your purpose is in every meeting, call, transaction, event. And so we're launching that. That's one of the things that I have. That's via Zoom. And we're doing that twice a month. I want to try to get, I feel like a lot of people are struggling with, and I'm doing it with an amazing human being named CJ Jennings. And I just feel like every time I talk to somebody, whether it's coaching or at an event, they're lost. There's a lot of lost people out there. And I'm not just talking about realtors, because mine's open to any business owner. I'd love to have entrepreneurs come. And I feel like they're all lost. They were January 1st. They thought January 6th, they thought the whole world was going to change, or right around that date. And it has for some, but their modalities, the way that they do things, none of that shifted. So they expect, because the world shifted, that everything would be completely great and they wouldn't have to do anything different or approach things differently. And so I feel like there's a lot of people who could use kind of identifying what their purpose is and try to figure out why it's not working. I have, especially in the realtor space, so many realtors are still doing the same thing they did 5-6 years ago, and can't figure out why nothing's moving or why their clients aren't getting off the fence. And you teach this a lot in yours too. I think it's just so important to really figure out why you continue to do something that's not working.
Yeah.
Why haven't you adjusted, or at least you can keep that in the background, but you need some more things besides that one thing you did that made you a whole bunch of money back in 2020 or 2021 or whenever it was. So yeah, that's what we're doing. So that's Tuesday. That's tomorrow at 2. But I have a lot of events that come up, and I think another thing that people they don't value as much is the things that go on in the community that aren't real estate related. That don't, like, I actually have one person I know who isn't affiliated with any outside organizations at all. No, Realtor Associates, a Realtor Association because of the lockbox. Other than that, nothing in the community, no nonprofits, no interests. And so I'm actually working with that person to figure out what their interests are.
Yeah, they're missing such great opportunities to build relationships. Correct.
Yeah. And I think realtors as a whole tend to think, why am I going? Why would I want to go to those events? And I just think community involvement we could do a whole class on community involvement. Maybe you already do, because I think that's so important and people undervalue it. So lots of stuff out there. How's your business? What's happening in the real estate business?
Oh, real estate is always good. I know people are like, interest rates and the Fed and yada, yada, yada. There's always people to serve.
Yeah.
Always. I mean, and again, I don't do near as much transactional real estate as I used to because I don't need to and I don't want to. I try to help other people, but it's February 24th and I've closed 8 transactions in 2025 already.
Nice. Congratulations.
Like, I'm not doing anything special. I'm just being consistent with the work that I teach people to do. Right. Yeah. I track everything. So I know exactly where my business is coming from and what lead source category it is. And right. If you're tracking your business, you're going to have more of it. Right. If you're not tracking your business, you're going to not realize how much you're missing. But
a lot of people don't track and a lot of people don't do follow up. We can talk about that next week.
We can talk about those 2 things for hours. Those are the 2 most critical components of success in business: is track your numbers and follow up doggedly.
Yes. And I feel like people, I've got a client right now who we're going back to his database of years, and he's such a good guy and treats people so well, but he stopped connecting with them. And my task with him is to begin reconnecting. And his thought process, he felt imposter syndrome, like that's disingenuous. And I said, it all depends on how you connect and what you say. If you're asking if you have anybody who's interested in buying and selling and I haven't heard from you in 4 years, please don't do that.
Yeah.
There's a way to connect and reconnect and take the ownness so that people go, oh yeah, life gets in the way, stuff comes up. But I said, once you begin reconnecting, you can never let it up again because you get that one shot at it. You can't say, hey, 3 years from now, I know I said I was going to keep in touch with you, but now I've forgotten that too. So let's try again. People don't. So lots of stuff. We have lots of good stuff to talk about every week. So Walt Key, anything you want to leave them with?
Yeah, everybody go research the Jetsons.
Yes.
And then go Google flying cars in Orlando.
It's
crazy. Coming, ladies and gentlemen. I think Orlando might be the first location, at least right now that I know about, that is actively pursuing a vertiport so that they can have flying cars and literally provide a cab service that circumvents the traffic. I love it. So go look up the news article. Their goal is before 2028. Literally, we've already got Zoom calls. Thank you, the Jetsons. We've already got online workouts. Thank you, the Jetsons. We've got Rosie, not the robot cleaner, but we've got iRobots and sharks, and we've got the robot vacuums and mops now. So we basically got Rosie. So thank you, the Jetsons. The last bastion of hope was flying cars. We're right there.
We're right there.
So close.
I love it. I'm looking out at I-4 as we speak, and it is back to back, wall to wall, barely moving, and thinking, God, that would be an amazing thing.
Imagine if you just had like a park and ride 15 minutes outside of town, and then the vertiport goes, and you can walk to your building from there.
I know.
So great.
It's coming. It's coming. And God knows we need it here in Orlando. All right, my friend, what's the best way they can find you and learn more about all of the good stuff that you
goodness. All of my contact information is on Linktree, phone number, email, social profiles, all of the coaching calls and events that we do. It's all on the Linktree. So that is truly the easiest way to find me. Reach out to me any way that's convenient for you with all of those different mechanisms, but you'll find me on Linktree.
And me too. You can find me on Linktree. You can call me 407-810-5670. I don't know why people are so afraid to give out their phone numbers these days, but I give it out as much as I possibly can. Always enjoy to have you on, my friend. I appreciate you. If I don't tell you enough, I really am grateful for you, and I'm thankful that you're doing this show. All right, guys, we'll see you soon next week. If you have questions for me or Walt, message me. We'll see you later. Bye, everybody.